Good evening. This is a regular City Commission meeting for the City of Largo. Today is Tuesday, July 1st, 2025. I'd like to call this meeting to order and ask that if you have a cell phone, please turn it to silent or off so that we don't have any interruptions. We're going to start this evening's meeting with an invocation given by Major Ted Morris from the Salvation Army, and then if you could please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let's bow for prayer. Our God, we thank you for this beautiful day you've given to us to serve you. Thank you for this commission, for our mayor, vice mayor, and members of this commission who've been elected to serve this community in this way. We thank you for those who've been selected to serve alongside them, the city attorneys and the city manager and all the staff in various departments that support them and guide them and provide advice to them in their decision making. Father, we pray that tonight our meeting will be productive, that the decisions made, the discussion that ensues will be pleasing in your sight, and that we will leave this place knowing that we've been in a place where we see our government at work and see our leaders leading our community. For it's in your holy and precious name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Major Morris. The first item on today's agenda is a proclamation recognizing July as Parks and Recreation Month.
Whereas parks and recreation are an integral part of communities throughout this country, including the city of Largo, and whereas parks and recreation promote health and wellness, improving the physical and mental health of people who live near parks, and whereas parks and recreation promote time spent in nature, which positively impacts mental health by increasing cognitive performance and well-being, and alleviating illnesses such as depression, attention deficit disorders, and Alzheimer's, and whereas parks and recreation encourage physical activities by providing space for popular sports, walking trails, swimming pools, and many other activities designed to promote active lifestyles, and whereas park and recreation programming and education activities, such as out-of-school time programming, youth sports, and environmental education, are critical to childhood development, and whereas parks and recreation increase a community's economic prosperity through increased property values, expansion of the local tax base, increased tourism, the attraction and retention of businesses, and crime reduction, and whereas parks and recreation are fundamental to the environmental well-being of our community, and whereas our parks and natural recreation areas ensure the ecological beauty of our community and provide a place for children and adults to connect with nature and recreate outdoors, and whereas the U.S. House of Representatives has designated July as Parks and Recreation Month, and whereas the City of Largo recognizes the benefits derived from parks and recreation resources, now therefore I, Woody Brown, Mayor of the City of Largo, do hereby proclaim July as Parks and Recreation Month.
Good evening, Mayor and Commission. The National Recreation and Parks Association designates the month of July as Parks and Recreation Month, recognizing the vital role that parks, recreation, and cultural programs play in building strong, healthy, and connected communities. This year's theme, Build Together, Play Together, reminds us that our parks, recreation centers, pools, golf course, and performing arts center are more than just places. They are the heart of our community. They're where friendships are formed, creativity is sparked, wellness is nurtured, and memories are made. Together we have built trails where families walk hand in hand, playgrounds where children laugh and explore, and pools where swimmers of all ages learn and compete. We've created spaces where neighbors can gather, whether on the green at our golf course, in the spotlight at our performing arts center, or around a table at one of our recreation centers. When we build together, we foster a sense of pride and ownership in our community, and when we play together, we strengthen the bonds that unite us. I want to take this opportunity to thank our dedicated Parks and Recreation team members, our Recreation Parks and Arts Advocacy Board, our volunteers, and our community partners. Their commitment and enthusiasm make all that we do possible. Thank you.
Very good.
keep people from charging.
Protects us.
Great, next is citizens' comment. If you'd like to speak about something on the agenda outside of the consent docket, please wait until the item comes up. Do we have any cards this evening?
I have 2 cards. First is Carol Wassinger.
Yeah, come on
What do you want me?
up. Right over here.
I came the right day. I didn't know it was Parks and Recreation.
Well, good, okay.
This is in regard to the Dorothy's Dog Park. It's a very nice little park. We love it very much. They've changed the rules on when you are to come to where it's open. Before, we could come reasonable hours between 6 or 8, you know? But now they want us to come at 7:30, and they have changed. We have a lot of people that go to work, and they can't come at 7:30. They have to be at work. And let's say, I'm retired, if I come at 7:30 and then I get home at 8:30, by the time I get the dogs settled and everything, it's gonna be 9, it's gonna be too hot to do anything. So we'd like, Mark has been very, very kind, and he's been opening the gates for us. But we'd like to just have it back to what it used to be, which was, and we were doing just fine. It's like a small community in the early morning. We all know each other, we know where we're going, like, oh, so-and-so is going to Vegas, then he comes home and shows the pictures, and so forth, and I broke my hip, and everybody calls and says, okay, hi, Carol, how are you? By the way, my hip is fine. And I would just like to be able to bring it back to where it was. I appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and like you said, you picked the right time. So our team is here from Parks and Rec, so we'll get some information from them in the future. Thank you.
Next speaker is Matt Faustini. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Good evening. Matt Faustini, 1015 Lake Palms Drive, Largo. I've never been one to shy away from tough debates, and I think it's time for our city to have a tough and honest debate. And this is not to criticize our amazing police department. They do an amazing job. But the fact is, the sheriff's department provides a cheaper service with lower crime. That is just the facts. And we would not be fiduciary responsible with the new capital outlays we have if we are not looking at all options to save money. The Pinellas County Sheriff's Office approximately charges around $219,300 per position in its department. If we were to contract using that conservative model based off Dunedin, other cities' contracts, our budget for the first year with the county would be $36,842,000 instead of this year's budget of $41,686,000. You would be looking at a $9.3 million savings in FY26, a $9.7 million savings in FY27, a $10.2 million savings in FY28, a $10.7 million savings in FY29, and an $11.2 million savings in FY30. And that's not including the projects in the CIP, which I believe add up to another $2 million in projects. So I'm not arguing one way or another, but we have a budget that's going to get presented to you asking for 20% rate increases in places for 3 years in a row. You're going to get presented a budget that's going to ask people like me to shoulder 60% increases in certain rates when you're not doing your fiduciary responsibility and looking at how to save money for the citizens of Largo. Yes, I want a police force of my own more than anyone. Do I want one that costs us millions of dollars more than what the sheriff can provide when the sheriff's headquarters is in our own city? not paying us any property tax, by the way. So it's time to have serious debates, serious conversations, and really look at our budget and get our fiscal house in order and stop the spending.
Thank you.
That's all the cards.
Thank you. Next is the approval of tonight's agenda.
I'd like to pull 8.
Me too. Thank you. Me too.
All right, pull 8 twice.
Motion and a second to pull 8.
Move approval.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the agenda. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 6-0. Next is consideration of the minutes from the regular meeting of June 17th, 2025.
Move approval.
Second.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 6-0. Could I hear the consent docket, please?
Item 4, authorization to enter into a continuing services contract with Carlton Fields for employee benefits and retirement legal services. Item 5, renewal of group medical insurance for plan year October 1, 2025 through September 30th, 2026 with Public Risk Management of Florida Health Trust in the estimated amount of $17,196,500 upon approval of the fiscal year 2026 adopted budget. Item 6, renewal of group and supplemental life and AD&D insurance to Minnesota Life Insurance Company for 3 years beginning October 1st, 2025 through September 30th, 2028 with an estimated fiscal year 2026 annual amount of $339,763, 80% team member paid, upon approval of the fiscal year 2026 annual budget. Item 7, renewal of group voluntary DMO and PPO dental insurance to United Healthcare in the amount of $423,128, 100% team member paid, for a 1-year period beginning October 1st, 2025 through September 30th, 2026 upon approval of the fiscal year 2026 adopted budget. Item 9, approval to purchase 111 composite manhole ring and covers from Core and Main Incorporated and installation services from Jennings Pipelining and Services LLC in the amount of $409,262 in lieu of Department of Environmental Protection penalties for the unauthorized discharges that occurred between August 5th, 2024 and January 17th, 2025. Item 10, award of RFQ number 25-P-837, Emergency Fuel Services to Macro Companies Incorporated. Item 11, authorization of the Second Amendment to participant agreement for disaster debris collection and removal services as part of Pinellas County Cooperative Contract RFP number 22-0617-P, parentheses HAM. Item 12, award of RFQ number 25-B-821, Largo Central Park Restroom Infrastructure to Tampa Contracting Services Incorporated for construction in the amount of $189,188 and an owner contingency of $50,000 for an estimated total amount of $239,188.
Thank you. For the consent docket, I'll entertain a motion.
I move to approve the consent docket without commission discussion and including staff background provided in the commission packets.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 6-0. Item number 8, Vice Mayor Holmes.
Yeah, I get the first half.
Yeah, you did.
You want to go first?
Eight before beauty. Go ahead.
Beauty is a horse. You know, this one's a tough one to follow. I've read through this thing several times, and I'm going, what exactly are we doing here? I understand we're going to fix a couple of these things up to comply with ADA, fine and dandy, but you start, the most glaring thing that struck me immediately was you only had 2 bidders on this thing, and the bids were 50% different. And I'm going, that's a lot. I mean, for what this describes for the job to be done, if you read this thing just point blank, it came out to, there's only 5 stops. There's only 5 shelters in that stretch of road. It comes out at $13,531 per shelter. Now, we're not replacing the shelter. You're replacing the furniture. You're replacing the trash buckets. But that's another thing, you got to follow this thing. One part is referring to an additional stop, but it doesn't give any detail on it. And then they're moving the slope on some of these, I kept looking at the slopes on these things, and I'm going, well, I didn't find any of them where it was sloping into the road. They're all sloping back to the sidewalk.
So I can give you an overview. So it's not just where the bus shelters are, it's all of the bus stops, whether there's shelters or just.
Well, there's
you know,
bus
the
stops
post
everywhere. I mean, if
benches.
you talk to the PSTA, there's 5,500 bus stops in Pinellas County, which is really kind of that's kind of stupid, but anyway, those are stops, they're not shelters.
So the assessment was done on that full corridor from West Bay Drive up to Wyatt Street on both sides of the road. There's different, there are different slopes depending on the curb height and so forth that was looked at for ADA assessment. There is not a new stop being added. There was a shelter at a former stop that no longer has a stop. That shelter has been taken down now, but it has been reserved to be put on a pad up toward the north end on the east side where there is no bus shelter up in that area. Just south of I think it's the Benjamin Moore
Right.
site, that next block, to provide a shelter accommodation up there. So there's no new stop being added. It is modifications of all the existing stops. So a lot of it requires pulling up the stop, taking up that concrete under it, getting the right slope and so forth, and adding the.
Hold on a second. You said there's
lighting pads.
modifications on all the stops. Well, there is a ton of stops.
I don't know, there's more than just the shelters. I don't have the full list with me, but there was an assessment that was done as part of this, the preliminary part of this project was to do that assessment. And so all of the stops that had an indication that they need to be repaired are part of this scope.
Oh, okay, I mean, I was trying to count these things out. I said, how many are we doing?
I don't remember offhand on that. I can
Well,
get you the
it's not-
specifics
not-
from the
We're
design.
supposed to vote on this thing. I mean,
Yes,
I
sir.
don't even know why we're doing it. How come PSTA isn't paying for this? It's their stops.
So
It's for their customers.
the bus stops were actually put in with CDBG money back several years ago.
Well,
and
that doesn't
they
make
are
it right.
owner
That's still,
of this.
I was on the PSTA board.
Yes,
And
sir.
this was a pretty common theme that would come up, and Brad Miller would sit there and say, oh, no, we're going to be taking care of all these stops, and it turns out that just isn't fundamentally true. You know, that they keep coming back to the cities, and they want the municipalities to start picking up the tab on these things. You know, he can get his $1 million for the electric buses that are running around empty, fine and dandy, but then he comes to the city and they want us. How much money are we actually spending per stop? So you got, some are shelters, there's only 5 of them. And then the rest are regular bus stops. With bus stops on the PST, remember Bob Jackson, Mayor Bob Jackson?
Yes, sir.
Mayor Jackson, he was so funny about the PSTA. He's from Boston, and he said he could never, ever figure out why the PSTA had so many stops in Pinellas County. He just said in Boston, if you want to catch the bus, they'd have a stop maybe every 2 blocks. So you'd have to go, these are city blocks, you'd have to go 2 blocks to catch the bus. And he says down here, he says, you'll get 2 or 3 of them in a half a block. And I said, well, look at Central Park. You got 2 of them, you could almost throw a stone at one another. But that's the PSTA, that's their management, that's how they wanted this stuff set up. But I'm still worried, why are we paying for this?
So we did meet with PSTA. They were part of our initial evaluation in the area. There is a ridership amount that is for the threshold for PSTA to put a stop and for a shelter. A lot of these do not reach that threshold where the shelters were. Those shelters were put in as an investment into that corridor where the city is trying to invest to make it a more walkable area and have different modes of transit. So these shelters were put in with city funds, and they are, there is no maintenance agreement with PSTA for the shelter or any of the infrastructure on those sites.
Go ahead, you're going to ask. I'm not done.
You mentioned the ridership threshold, which is interesting. If you didn't know, I think the threshold is 25 a day.
Yes, sir. I'm
When
pretty
you
sure it is.
consider that only, if a bus stop doesn't have 25 people a day get on it, that they're not going to put a shelter on it. So just, contemplate that for a little while. But I guess, that was my question too, is that, why was PSTA approached about participating? Because the way I look at it is that the citizens are paying for this twice. They're paying Largo taxes and they're paying PSTA taxes, but Largo, and so and Largo's taking up the bill for these. And it's not, I mean, it's 50-something thousand dollars, that just shows that, we look at everything. But I just, you mentioned PSTA was approached at the original development of these, or as part of the refurbishment that we're doing?
Say that again?
Was PSTA approached about participating in fixing the ones that we're talking about now, or the original when they were originally placed there?
We did evaluate looking at the different stops with them. We actually had looked at a broader area, including 8th Avenue and up Missouri Avenue. We knew that there was, expansion of the Clearwater-Largo Road District. At that time, there was other kind of countywide plans being looked at Missouri, so we did not pursue doing any coordinated improvements with them. They did, however, find the need on the ridership level at that bus stop right by Largo Subs, by Largo High School, to put a shelter, and they did put that shelter in based on that ridership. So we did have a discussion on that broader area. These shelters these improvements are being paid through the Federal Community Development Block Grant funding for this. Okay. It is part of our target area, and we are trying to address mobility and so forth in that area. So it was a staff-initiated, evaluation looking into that area, and then the follow-through with the grant funding to fix these corrections.
Well, I'm happy to hear it's grant funding. So you mentioned ADA compatibility. Are they not compatible now, or we're just improving it?
There was things that were found under current ADA standards for deficiencies that we're trying to address.
Okay.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Do you know if PSTA regularly looks at their, not necessarily a sheltered stop, but a bus stop on Seminole Boulevard, for example? Do they check those for ADA compliance on a regular basis?
That's a good question. I know I've seen in the past, there's something that comes out from the state of Florida each year, basically like an indemnification clause on federal or on the state roadways for such. So I don't know offhand if PSTA looks at those. I think a lot of times it happens when there's improvement on the adjacent site. So for example, when there's a new site plan, they'll look to see if ridership should put a bus stop there, a bus pad, that kind of thing. And if there is one already, there's likely they'd have it come up to compliance at that time as well.
And so again, would that typically fall on whoever's redeveloping that parcel, or would PSTA come out and upgrade the sidewalk and make it ADA compliant?
Typically, they don't. Typically, improvements like that are part of the project, just like we have sidewalk installed, right? Our city codes require sidewalk installation when a new development is going on. So that's typically how that happens. I don't know all the legalities, like for city sidewalk and that kind of situation. I know, people are able to call in and report if there's like an issue with a sidewalk and it gets corrected, but.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I used to see a lot more bus stops that were essentially a curb and then dirt. And that's kind of going away, I guess, as development happens, but thank you. Vice Mayor Holmes.
I will vote no on this until I get more detail. I'd like to know how many shelters are involved in this enhancement or repair, whatever you should call it, and how many stops. There's a world of difference in the two of those things, because if you go down Clearwater-Largo Road, there's stops everywhere. Some have, most of them have the metal benches out there. But until I get more detail on this thing here, I'm just not going to sit here and go, okay, well, heck, it's only $68,000 for whatever in the world we're going to be doing. But that is my opinion.
Thank you, Commissioner DeRisi.
Last question. Are the shelters that are there, are they PSTA shelters? They're ones that Largo put in, designed, and
Absolutely. It was back when we had a downtown Main Street organization, actually. We had done the same shelters in the downtown through the same community development block grant years ago, and those were added in that area as well. Okay. So they were all bought with CDBG funds back in that time, too.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Vice Mayor Holmes, although he did say that was his last question.
Oh, yeah, but he forced me to ask another one. Are we still responsible for the maintenance on these things?
Yes, sir.
Because there was one of them on West Bay Drive that they smashed the glass, the plexiglass a couple of, in fact, one right around from where Woody lives. They did it a couple of times, and I kept trying to figure out, were we replacing the plexiglass, or did the PSTA do it?
That is a good question. I know there's certain, if they're PSTA warranted ridership stops with those shelters. Oftentimes, like if there's a city upgraded model, I'm pretty sure that there's a cost sharing to that, but I don't know offhand on the maintenance responsibility for replacement.
Yeah,
of
there was a
those.
little rub on that because the broken plexiglass was all over the ground for quite a while. And I never did find out if we fixed it or if PSTA did it. Oh, well.
I'm not sure.
PSTA is not my friend.
Are there other questions?
I move to disapprove award of contract number 25B 835 bus stop improvements, Clearwater Largo Road to American Construction Services, Inc. in the amount of $58,832.76 and an owner contingency of $8,824.91, totaling an estimated amount of $67,657.67.
Hearing no second, I'll entertain an alternative motion if anybody has one.
I'll do it. I move to approve award of contract number 25-B835 bus stop improvements, Clearwater Largo Road to American Construction Services, Inc. in the amount of $58,832.76 and an owner contingency of $8,824.91, totaling an estimated amount of $67,657.67.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
Motion passes 5-1. Thank you. Next is item number 13, ordinance 2025-19.
Thank you. Good evening. This is ordinance number 2025-19. It's the second reading of the Clearwater Largo Road Community Redevelopment District Plan, and it's a major amendment to expand the plan area. It went in front of City Commission for a first reading on May the 6th, was approved by a vote of 7-0. At second reading on June the 3rd, it was continued until this meeting, July the 1st, and it is before you again now at second reading. Today, the clerk's office did send out the slide deck from the first reading. We hadn't planned to do a presentation, but we are available for questions.
Ordinance number 2025-19, an ordinance of the City of Largo, Florida, relating to community redevelopment within the Clearwater Largo Road Corridor Community Redevelopment District, providing findings, approving an amendment to the Community Redevelopment Plan for the Clearwater Largo Road Corridor Community Redevelopment District, providing for severability and providing for an effective date.
Thank you. Do we have any cards on this?
We have no cards. Oh, well, yes, we do. Matt Faustini?
Matt Faustini, 1015 Lake Palm Drive, Largo. Real quick, I just want to make sure the commission is aware we are going to face political hurdles with the county commission. And staff has done an amazing job on trying to make this as beneficial as an offer for both sides, in my opinion. But Commissioner Nowicki has made direct comments attacking the approval of this. Just recently, Tarpon Springs applied to even do a feasibility study and only got that passed 4-3. So the county commission has turned dead set against CRAs. They believe it is stealing property tax revenue as a driver, and they cannot afford to lose any property tax revenue in their mind because they are dedicated to a rollback rate again this year. So they are dead set against CRAs going forward. Just want to share that piece of information. I know staff is aware of that. I just want to make sure that's been shared with the commission. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions from the commission?
I move to adopt ordinance number 2025-19 at second reading.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 6-0. Thank you. Next is item number 14.
All right, good evening, City Commission. This is ordinance 2025-22. It is also a second reading for the West Bay Drive Community Redevelopment District Plan Amendment. There have been no changes since first reading. It was approved at Planning Board on May 1st by a vote of 5-0. approved by the City Commission on first reading May 6th by a vote 7-0. This was continued from the June 3rd City Commission meeting, and staff recommends approval of the proposed amendment and is available for questions.
Ordinance number 2025-22, an ordinance of the City of Largo, Florida, amending the West Bay Drive Community Redevelopment District Plan by amending Part 2, the plan, to consolidate redundant standards within character districts into a district design vision section by amending Part 2, the plan, to establish redevelopment toolkit tables for each character district, including updated density and intensity ranges, and by amending Part 4, capital improvements with additional project details, providing for severability, providing for an effective date.
Thank you. Do we have any cards on this?
We have no cards.
Commissioner Lauser.
Just a quick question, given, I mean, I think we all know that there are going to be some hurdles. Have we thought about prioritizing, if we're going to take these both up at the same time, or if they're going to go up as separate issues, have we thought about prioritizing which one goes up first? Because if we get one through, likely not going to get another one through if it's that close. Just a thought.
Well, they are different. The Clearwater Largo Road plan is an expansion physically by some hundreds of acres of the entire district, and kind of resets the clock, if you will. It creates an updated district over that entire area, and that came out of discussions with both county staff and the county commission at that time. The West Bay Drive amendments are changes to the regulations within the district. So I would hope that both of them would be viewed differently at the county level.
Hopefully.
We would hope so, yeah.
And I would expect there would be no opposition to amending the West Bay Drive plan to allow for more alignment with some county plans,
Yes.
that type of thing. So I mean, on the face value, this one should be a no-brainer. And as was stated, when this process for Clearwater Largo Road was started to expand it, it was pretty much unanimous support from the county commission, from this city commission, to help improve that corridor that has some challenges. It's probably one of our most challenging corridor in the city, and we've seen a lot of really good positive benefits along the West Bay Drive corridor. It's a smaller area than that. The West Bay Drive is smaller than the new Clearwater Largo Road expanded area. But that's I mean, I'd be interested to look at the average property value on Clearwater Largo Road and how much of a tax impact that is going to have going forward, and maybe a comparison of whether it's left to stagnate like it has been for 30 years, or whether there's some real investment from a TIF put into there. In the end, the county wins either way, I think. The county wins even if they give up a little bit of their increased taxes for the increase in the taxes for 15 years. And that's what happens is, they get the same amount of money that they've always got for that area. And just the increase in value is what the city is able to direct. And it's not without the county looking at it. We report to the county how often, every year?
Yes.
Every year we
Oh, yeah.
report to the county on our CRAs and what the money is being spent for and how that is. And we get input from them, frankly. So it's if they were directing targeted tax money on the blighted areas, we wouldn't do it internally as much. And I think there are some CRAs that are outside of cities too. But,
Thank you.
yeah. Any other questions?
I move to adopt ordinance number 2025-22 on second and final reading.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Did you have a comment, or you're good?
Oh, no, I was just going to add, we've been working very closely with the county at every level, including for Pinellas, which includes county representation. And part of the district does include unincorporated areas of the county. So the residents of those areas do serve to benefit from the development work we would focus on that area. So I think it's something that's more than just Largo-centric.
Yeah, and importantly, unless and until, if those cities, or if those properties decide to annex, then their increment financing may contribute. But until that point, those county residents would benefit from the investment that Largo's making and the TIF is making without having to contribute their portion. That portion is still going to stay with the county. But I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Just a question.
Oh, Commissioner Smith, sorry.
When will this be going before the county? I don't have a date in front of me, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Let me double check. I believe it is going to a work session. They might not call it that, but it's like a work session, August 5th. I'm just going to double check the dates, and then shortly after that, I think it's the 14th, it goes to a public hearing. And I've got it on my calendar just in case.
We'll confirm all those dates with county staff as we go along. We do work with them pretty closely on this.
Okay, there's
Yes,
the
and-
difference between staff and electeds, a little bit, just to feel this out. Could we, before this work session, kind of maybe put it on their radar that we're bringing it to them and see where we can feel them out a little bit? I don't mind even sending it myself or someone up here, or we can work with them to see where their gauge is maybe before this goes to a work session and we kind of get a feel.
Sure.
Unless the county commissioner feels differently, or the administrator feels differently and doesn't want to get that involved. I just think sometimes, Paul, two different things, and I just want to make sure our heads are in the same space, what we're talking about, so.
Sure. And I did want to confirm, so these are the tentative dates, but it's the meeting on Tuesday, August 5th, and then the work session is actually the 14th, so it's reversed. It's a public meeting and a work session.
Okay.
Staff will be there and present and able to answer questions as well.
Okay.
Just in case we get questioned about West Bay Drive versus Clearwater Largo Road. So we are planning to attend both of those as well.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Kerr?
Yeah, and I've been in contact with the county administrator. He understands the importance of these two measures for our community, and it's on my calendar as well to attend those sessions.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. I do have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 6-0. Thank you. Next is item number 15.
Thank you. This is ordinance number 2025-12. And this is an annexation of one property.
We got actually a
Oh, this
future
is a land use.
Yes.
map. I'm sorry.
No, you're okay. It's sorry.
I know you're anxious, but that's the next one.
I was
I'll be back.
All right. We'll save a seat for you.
Good evening, Mayor and City Commission. The item before you is a proposed future land use map amendment initiated by the City of Largo for the property located at 201 Highland Avenue North.
Here.
The property occupies approximately 14 acres and houses the Largo City Hall facilities, the Largo Police Department, and the Emergency Operations Center. The city is seeking to change the property's existing institutional land use classification to residential office retail on the City of Largo future land use map. Here's an aerial map showing the subject property outlined in orange with arrows pointing to the City Hall, Police Department, and Emergency Operations Center buildings. Fifth Avenue Northeast is located to the north, Highland Avenue North to the east, and 2nd Avenue Northeast to the south. The traffic light icons indicate the location of the intersections of East Bay Drive and Highland Avenue to the south, and Highland Avenue and the driveway providing access to the police department side of the property to the east. This slide shows the existing future land use map with the subject property outlined in black. The area is characterized by a mix of medium to high-intensity uses, including medical offices, assisted living facilities, medium-density residential, and community recreation spaces. Closer to East Bay Drive, properties are developed with higher intensity uses such as gas stations, auto repair shops, retail stores, restaurants, and religious institutions. And this slide shows the proposed future land use map, reflecting the residential office retail classification with the subject property outlined in black and filled in with dark purple. Surrounding the subject site, there are several properties with medium to high intensity future land use map classifications like commercial general, residential office general, and residential medium. There are also some properties with lower intensity future land use map classifications like recreation open space, residential low, and residential suburban. The proposed land use classification is a mixed-use future land use classification that could act as an appropriate transition between the medium to high-intensity uses and the lower-intensity ones. On the countywide plan map, the property is currently classified as public semi-public. If this amendment were to be approved, the property would then be classified as retail and services. Due to upcoming costly repairs, vulnerability to storm damage, and space limitations for anticipated personnel growth, the current City Hall facility on Highland Avenue has been deemed no longer suitable. To align with the city's goals of investment in the redevelopment of the West Bay Drive corridor and to address current and future issues with the City Hall facilities, in 2019, the City of Largo began efforts to develop Horizon West Bay, a new mixed-use project downtown that would include City Hall, as well as retail and community spaces and a parking garage. While many of the current city offices will be relocating to the new location, the Largo Police Department will not be moving to Horizon West Bay. Since the current City Hall building will soon be vacant, a team was formed to explore how the property could be repurposed to align with the neighborhood's character and provide community benefit. The overall vision for the site is a mixed-use development that fosters a sense of place by integrating housing, common area spaces, and light commercial uses. The city pursued a ballot initiative proposing that the City Commission could have the authority to sell the subject property with specific conditions. The ballot question included the specific condition that any sale would be restricted to a mixed-use development which could only include residential, retail, restaurant, professional office, public safety, and accessory recreational uses. In the November 2024 election, the city's voters approved the proposed sale with 57% of voters in support of the referendum. Prior to initiating the future land use map amendment process, city staff hosted a community open house on April 30th. The purpose was to share information about the project and gather feedback from nearby residents and businesses on how they envision the future of the property. To notify the community about the open house, the city mailed postcards to over 1,000 property owners. The postcards included event details, a brief background on the project, and a link to the project webpage, which housed a recorded presentation providing a more in-depth overview of the project. At the open house, several stations were set up for community members to learn more about the overall vision for the site, the anticipated project timeline and required planning processes, and the potential impacts that redevelopment could have on traffic and stormwater. Community members could also participate in an activity where they were asked to rank several placemaking methods that could be incorporated into the redevelopment. The insights shared by residents and stakeholders underscored the importance of enabling a broader mix of uses on the property beyond what is currently permitted under its institutional designation. While some of the uses approved through the referendum would be allowed with this property's current institutional future land use map classification, other uses, including residential, retail, or restaurant uses, would not be allowed. As such, the city is proposing to amend the future land use map to reflect a residential office retail classification to expand the number of allowable uses on the site. It is important to note that while some more intense uses, such as drive-through restaurants, self-storage facilities, and car washes are typically allowed within this classification, these use types would not be allowed on the subject property. Any future uses on the site would be limited to those approved by voters through the referendum, like light commercial uses, offices, and medium-density housing. It should be noted that a 2.75 acre portion of the site located along the western property line is located within the FEMA designated coastal high hazard area and the special flood hazard area. Any proposed development would be placed on the site in a way that mitigates the disturbance of these natural areas. This slide shows the general trip generation rates associated with the current countywide plan map classification of public, semi-public, compared to the proposed classification of retail and services. Under the Forward Pinellas countywide rules, municipal and public facilities typically generate about 835 daily trips per acre, while general retail and services usage generate closer to 433 daily trips per acre. So, if the property were redeveloped with use types commonly found under the retail and services classification, we could expect a pretty significant reduction in daily trip generation compared to what's allowed under the current classification. Please note that these are generalized rates based on land use categories, and they're not tied to any specific development proposal or data from the site. If a project does move forward, a site-specific traffic study could be required during the city's site plan review process. It's important to note that the future land use map amendment would only change the land use classification of the 14-acre amendment area from institutional to residential office retail. The FLUMA would not approve a specific concept plan or the right for uses not approved through the referendum to be established. Staff has found the proposed amendment to be consistent with the goals, objectives, and policies of the City of Largo Comprehensive Plan, Comprehensive Development Code, Forward Pinellas Countywide Rules, and Chapter 163 of the Florida State Statutes. On June 5th, 2025, the Planning Board recommended approval of the proposed amendment. Should the City Commission approve, staff will transmit the proposed Tier 2 amendment to Forward Pinellas for countywide review. The presentation has now concluded, and staff are available for any questions.
Ordinance number 2025-04, an ordinance of the City of Largo, Florida, amending the City of Largo Comprehensive Plan Future Land Use Map classification of the within described tract of land located at 201 Highland Avenue North from institutional (I) to residential office retail (ROR), consistent with the City of Largo Comprehensive Plan, amending the city future land use map on file in the office of the city clerk pursuant to the provisions of Chapter 163, Part 2 Florida statutes and the Forward Pinellas Countywide Plan rules, providing for severability and providing for an effective date.
Thank you. Do we have any cards?
We
on
have no
this?
cards.
Any questions? I had a couple questions, and I think I know the answer to this, but in residential office retail, are you allowed to have a police station?
Yes.
Okay. And so is there anything listed in the referendum that is not allowed or conditionally allowed in ROR?
No.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Commissioner Smith?
A little bit, being up in front, I was against this initiative at the beginning from the ballot. I felt it should have been given more information to the residents of what this is going to be and a little bit more education of that. I think still, I get this. I mean, at that ballot, 18,000 of my residents out of 32,000 voted in support of this. So I think that's still a low number of residents that still didn't get a real say in kind of what this is going to be or what they wanted kind of thing. But it's here, so I'll go for this, but I'm going to keep an eye on what's there, what's coming in. I do like the idea of the non-allowables of the car washes and self-storage. Those are things I honestly think we should put moratoriums on the city for them for a while, because I think both those need to take a breather. I'm tired of every corner being taken up by a car wash or a public storage facility. I like that's built into this, and I hope the residents at home, including myself, get more educated on this, on what this is going to be. I think this would be a good green space, and I hope we really don't screw this up, so, but I appreciate everything y'all did. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
I move to approve ordinance number 2025-04 on first reading, transmit the amended to the Countywide Planning Authority, CPA, and schedule a second reading after review by the CPA.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. I did have one more question. Could you list, if you have it in front of you, could you list off some of the things that would be allowed in institutional land use if we were to leave it institutional?
Yes, so off the top of my head, I know that senior housing could be allowed here, religious institutions, public service and safety operations. But a lot of those kind of more institutional land use classifications, there's not a ton of residential or non-residential options allowed within the current classification.
Okay, thank you. I had a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 6-0. Thank you. Next up is item number 16.
Thank you. There is a slide with a map for this item. I don't know if that could be, there it comes. This is ordinance number 2025-12. It's the annexation of one property at 1350 Starkey Road, and it has a land use designation of industrial limited. The total taxable value of the property at the present time is a little over $1 million. It does have a building on it. You can see on the slide there, it's a vacant industrial building. I'm going to introduce the representative of the applicant in a minute who will go over their plans for the site. County Commission was noticed at the end of May for this. We have not received any objections on this annexation. Our city departments have reviewed it, and the services can be provided to the property. There are, of course, important incentives to annex into the city, including city-provided sanitation. So now I would like to introduce Pete Pensa, who's an engineer and planner with VICA Engineering and is representing the owners of the property. And he could briefly describe kind of what their plans are.
Good evening. For the record, my name is Peter Pensa. I'm an AICP certified planner with Avid McAdams Engineering. I've got a speaker card on file, but our office address is 4904 Eisenhower Boulevard, Tampa. Here representing the property owner and future occupant of the site. They're planning on raising the existing building that's out there and replacing it with an roughly 11,000 square foot building and redoing everything, obviously the landscaping and so on. And it's going to be a equipment rental site, construction equipment and whatnot. There's 98,000 square foot of paved area that'll be behind the building line. So it'll be some on the side, most of it in the back. Behind it, when it is redeveloped, the new building will be in the middle of the site, the middle of the front of the site. There'll be parking for customers, employees in the front. The front of the property has a substantial buffer yard that will be there because there is power lines there, and so it's even larger than you would normally expect on a development. The staff has said it's industrial limited in the county currently, and we're annexing with the same designation, and we're looking forward to being a part of the city.
Thank you.
We're available for any more questions.
Thank you. Do we have any cards on this?
No, we have no cards.
Any questions for, go ahead, please.
Ordinance number 2025-12, an ordinance of the City of Largo, Florida, annexing the within described tract of land located at 1350 Starkey Road, Pinellas County, Florida, and contiguous to the existing city limits of the city of Largo, Florida, with city land use designation of industrial limited, redefining the corporate boundary of the city of Largo to include said addition according to the provisions of Chapter 171 Florida statutes, providing for severability and providing for an effective date.
Thank you. And Commissioner DeBreezy.
Thank you. Bob or the applicant, just curious about if there's an estimate of how many jobs this new company can be bringing to the city?
I don't know how many the facility is going to have. I apologize, I don't have that information.
That's fine. I was
I
just
can tell you that the company itself has over 460 locations and over 7,600 employees total. So they are substantial presence throughout the country, and they have 16 existing locations in Florida.
That's good news. I just wanted to hear more about it. That's all.
Okay.
Thank you.
Will this be a new location for them or moving?
This will be a new location.
Thank you. Commissioner Smith.
My question more to probably the city manager. I kind of got the idea we're putting a pause on annexations for a while. What pulled this one forward?
I wouldn't say we paused annexations. I'd say we were not aggressively pursuing annexations where the infrastructure doesn't exist to support the property. I did ask that question of our staff before this was advanced to the commission, and I think we're comfortable that the infrastructure there serves the property appropriately, and given the value of its property, it will add to the tax base of the city beyond its infrastructure demands.
And there's never been issues with the county on that property? Like flooding, any kind of weird stuff back there? I don't know what's that behind that there,
No, I
honestly.
don't believe so. I mean, they'll be required to meet all city standards as they develop.
I know, I'm
file site.
very cautious now of what I'm annexing, so, okay. All right.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Make the motion.
Yeah, we're good.
You better, I'll do it.
I got it. I move to approve ordinance number 2025-12 on first reading and schedule a second reading and public hearing on August 5th, 2025.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? No. Motion passes 5-1. Thank you. Good to see you, Mr. Penton. All right, Ms. Johnson, anything this evening?
I do not have anything this evening.
Thank you. Commissioner, Vice Mayor Holmes.
Yeah, I've got one item. As you know, 4th of July is coming up on this coming Friday, which they're going to have a big event in Central Park providing it's not raining. It's something about the 4th of July that even, as a history nut, and I read a lot of history books, I've never quite figured out why we call the 4th of July Independence Day. That is not Independence Day. That is the day that we had a group of gentlemen get together and they signed a document telling King George that where he could put it where the sun don't shine. And that started the war, was July 4th, 1776. We did not get independence from the Brits until you had the Treaty of Paris, which was September 3rd, 1783. That is Independence Day. That is the day that King George was just tired of fooling with us until 1812, when they came down from Canada again, which, thank you for the nice music from the signet of 1812. But anyway, that's just me. I always thought Independence Day should be when independence was actually done, which would have been 1783. I am done.
Thank you. Commissioner DeBreezy.
Thank you. Staying on the theme of puppies, I was wondering if something could be looked into. So, and I know there's lots of legalities regarding this, but twice in the last month I've been driving down Almerton Road, and I don't want to pick on the store, but it's one of the two that's there, All About Puppies or Sunshine Puppies. They built a pen out on the right-of-way on the south side of Almerton, and have puppies running around in there and cars zipping by in 90-degree heat and stuff like that. And I don't know if that's allowed or not, and I'm wondering if, police can go by and check it out, or code or somebody, but it's been on the weekends. But, twice now, they've got, 8 or 9 puppies running around in the right-of-way in a pen as people are driving by and, on Almerton Road very fast in the heat. And I can't remember which store it is. It's one of the two that's there.
We certainly could have code and look into it.
Thank you.
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Lauser.
Thanks to Commissioner Holmes for the history lesson. He was probably in like the second grade.
Probably.
When most of that went down. But other than that, just want to wish everybody a happy Independence Day and make sure you guys are safe this weekend.
Thank you. Commissioner Hulk.
I kind of had the same idea, though, ditto on the history lesson there.
Well, I got some real goodies. if you
I'm
wanna
sure
hear all
you
of
do.
them.
We could probably sit here for 3 days at least. That's all I have tonight. Thank you. Be safe, everybody, actually.
Thank you. Commissioner Smith.
Just happy Parks Month, Park and Recreation. As my partner likes to go out to the nature preserve and take wonderful photos, take advantage of it this month and all months, not just this month. Our parks are our pride, and our staff do a wonderful job. And get out there, take some great photos, post them on social media, let your friends know what parks are in Largo and what you'd like to see more of in our lovely city. We even have a nice piece of art right in our central park. It has a huge heart of, and I call it the heart of Pinellas County. So stop on there, support our Parks Department, and enjoy a good time, and your kids will love you, and my partner will love photos. Also, happy 4th of July. Stay safe and respect your neighbors. There are certain individuals with their pets and stuff like that, so please be respectful to your neighbors. And then last, our staff and myself, Team Largo participated in St. Pete Pride this Saturday. They had over 350,000 people show up right before it started. It looked like it was going to rain, but whatever higher being kept the sky open, and we were able to participate in a good parade. Our staff did a wonderful job representing our city. I got a lot of compliments to seeing them out there. These are times when a lot of people are right now scared to do things and uncertain. So they really appreciate that and know that it's not just St. Pete Pride. It's pride of our city and our residents, and we're a diverse city of many different beliefs and views. So I love you all, and thank you, and have a happy 4th. Thank you.
Thank you. I just will add, whatever you call it, have a nice 4th of July, and be safe. And in case you missed it category, Southwest Pool opened on Saturday. We had a great crowd out there. The pool is amazing. It was redone by the same company that built the pool back in 1983 it started. And they took a lot of pride in making it the best pool in Pinellas County and most likely the best pool in the west coast of Florida. I already hear that it's going to be the fastest pool in the county. And so all the swimmers that were out there on Saturday were super excited to get in the water. And it was a cool, 83 degrees, which is cold for June and July. And it's actually chilled in the summertime, so they can swim fast. And then it's warmed up in the wintertime and all through geothermal. So great special thanks to all the team members that helped put that whole project together. I know the project manager, Ralph Cezak, was super proud. He was out there, and there was, I don't know, there's a couple hundred people from the community that came for the ribbon cutting. So it was a cool event. If you've got time, swing by, and check out the Southwest Pool over at Southwest Rec. And that's all I had. Mr. Kerr.
Thank you. I want to let everyone know we are celebrating our 4th of July, 249th in the year of the country, and I think 242 based on Independence Day declarations. But we'd like the community to we are expecting potentially bad weather on the 4th, so please check our websites and for information regarding fireworks displays and other items that could be affected by weather. We'll try to get that information out to the public as soon as we can, as soon as we have a reliable weather forecast. So again, please check that out before you go.
And 177 days till Christmas.
Is it called Christmas? I'm just kidding. Any action items?
I had two things. A request by Vice Mayor Holmes for the number of shelters and stops along Clearwater Largo Road. And a request by Commissioner DeBreezy that staff look into one of the puppy stores along Ulmerton Road that has a pen of puppies outside in the right-of-way.
Thank you. Meeting's adjourned. Thank you all. You seen it?